Hey everyone, this is actually the second video in this Gimp painting series, so if you haven't already, make sure you check out part 1. I'll link to it in the description down below, but other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'm hoping I can have the channel more up and running by then, and hopefully I can document those races and kind of share those with you guys. I think I might do some racing videos. I'm still working out getting my GoPro all figured out. I can't seem to keep that on for an entire race. I hope to have a camera soon that I can take videos and photos at the track other than just my GoPro onboard videos. So what else do I do? Racing's about it, but I'm going to school to be a machinist. So far, that's been very rewarding for me. I've worked on mills and lathes, CNC mills and lathes. It's been a good choice for me. I've learned stuff that I think I can apply to racing eventually. I'm almost done with my degree in that, and my dad and I just bought a little lathe at home that we can start working on some stuff. So hopefully I have a decent future in that where I can use it to help progress in racing. I think it'll be something to set me apart anyway. And then I also have plans to take some welding classes, which I also think will help me out a lot, even if it's not for racing, just for a career at least. But I think it'll be beneficial for racing too. Other than that, I might take some business classes. That's kind of down the road though. I don't know when that would be. But I think that's something that could be beneficial in racing at times too. So as I said, my love for the sport started at a very young age, as long as I can remember. And I don't know for sure exactly why I love the sport, but I think just the competition of it is what drives me to do it every week and continue to work hard at it. I've said before that racing can just be about driving, but the racing part of it comes from the competition. You're probably going to have to be a competitive person at nature if you're ever going to be able to race for wins, and I think that's what brings me back every week is the winning. So the last thing that I want to introduce you guys to is just this channel. On this channel I already have a few onboard cameras from some of the races that I've done this year. You can expect to see more of that stuff. I hope to get those out a little bit more frequently. Like I said, I've had trouble with my GoPro turning off in the middle of races, so I'm still working to figure that out. And I'd like to get a camera where I can take videos and photos that aren't on board for extra content for you guys. I've thought about doing maybe some commentaries and vlogging type videos at the racetrack and commentaries over those onboard cameras. If you guys would like to see that, I think that's something that I could work out. So some other type of videos might be some simulator videos. I'm in my simulator right now. I do some iRacing, Assetto Corsa, project cars, dirt rally, stuff like that. I have the stuff where I could record some of those and do some commentaries over them, show you some races that I have on here. I've got a triple screen set up right here in front of me. I've got an Oculus Rift that I use with some of those sims. Sim racing's been a big part of, I'd say, even making me the driver that I am. But it's just something fun to do when I'm not racing in real world. So it's something that I enjoy, and I think a lot of people that watch this channel might enjoy that as well. So you'll see some of that coming sometime soon. With that, you also might see some video game type videos, gameplays. Like I said, racing video games were huge in getting me kind of started in the sport and piquing my interest in the sport. So you might see some of that, some classic games, maybe some of the new games, but you'll see that coming soon as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy that. And the last idea for different videos that you might see sometime in the near future is garage type videos where I might show you what we have going on with the car, or any changes that we might be making, weekly maintenance, just stuff to show you guys what's really going on with the real world racing and to keep you guys involved with that. So that's about all I have as far as introducing myself in this channel. So for the rest of this paint scheme, I'll just go into some story time. So I may have mentioned earlier that we just got back from Oklahoma. We were there at the Arcoma Speedway for 5,000 to win non-wing show, and it went not as planned, but it went okay. Didn't do as well as I would have liked to, but we've learned some anyway. So we got there Thursday night, and we just went to the hotel, spent the night there. Got up Friday, and it had been storming all night and all morning. Maybe quit sometime around noon, and I really didn't think that we would get that in that night, but they decided to go ahead and try and get it in, and we did. We got it in all right. So track just wasn't maybe where it needed to be, but they did what they could. So the night started out with me at the pill draw, and I drew 100 out of 100. So that started me very tail of the last heat race. Hot laps went really great, actually. I felt like I had one of the fastest cars on the track, and felt like the car felt good, very stable. Track was pretty tacky, but it was smooth, and what bumps there was, I was making it through pretty well. So I felt really good after hot laps, and so I went out for the heat race where I mentioned I was starting very tail, and I don't think there was any big names in that heat race, but by the time my heat race went out, I was the third one. The track had already gotten pretty rough. Everything was just really soft, and impressionable, so when cars went over it, it really got out of shape, and by the time the third heat race went out, it had already gotten a lot of holes in it, so it just made things super rough and tough to pass. Anyway, I started 7th, and I was able to make my way up to 5th, which it's all right, but it wasn't what I really wanted. I really didn't think it was anything very good. So then they lined us up for qualifiers, and I still didn't think I would have a very good starting spot for the qualifier. I'm still not totally sure how they line the qualifiers up. I heard they inverted, but I'm not entirely sure how. But there was 3 qualifiers. I started first in the second qualifier. And they had reworked the track a little bit, but they just went out with a grader and bladed it off. Probably smoothed it out for the first heat race, for the first qualifier. But even by the second qualifier, it had already gotten pretty rough. So went out for the qualifier, and I was able to hold on to the lead for most of the race. It was still pretty rough, but I found a line that kind of took me above all the bumps and rough stuff, at least in one corner. So I was getting around pretty good, I thought. And then, coming to the white flag, I think, the car hit a rut or a bump and just got way out of shape, and I got passed for the lead. Just really frustrating. I was pretty upset when I got off the track, but finished second in that one, and really didn't think that would put me in a good spot. I figured I had made the A. They took top 14 in points to the A. That qualifier and my heat race points combined is what they took for the feature, and I was surprised to find out that actually put me 9th in points. So that's not what I had hoped for at the beginning of the night, but all things considered at that point, I thought that was pretty okay, pretty decent. So we went out for the feature, and the track was still really rough. They had some stock cars there, which tend to make more holes in the track, kind of rut the track up a little bit. Really, it didn't seem that much different than the heat race or the qualifier. Maybe a little bit rougher for sure, but it wasn't that much different really. Starting 9th, everything super rough. It was just tough to pass on. Tried to run the top a little bit, but it was still rough up there, and this is a pretty high bank track where a lot of times you're going to have to run the bottom, pretty much flat-footed around the bottom. And I tried the top a little bit, and it maybe wasn't slower, but it for sure wasn't as fast. So I moved back down to the bottom and just held on for as long as I could, and ended up coming home 7th that night. I kind of think maybe if I had just stuck to the bottom from the very beginning, maybe would have worked out for me better. Probably would have. I took top 4 straight to Saturday night's A main, which would have been a win for us to lock into that. But 7th wasn't too bad considering the kind of night that we were given. And that night we tried some different stuff with the setup just to try and get it through the bumps and the holes in the track. And I think it helped a little bit, but we still just didn't have the speed that we really needed to be in the top 4, really. So then early Saturday morning, maybe like 3 to 6, they just got another storm that I heard it just poured for an hour straight, maybe. And the track just wasn't in good shape at all. We went out to the track on Saturday afternoon and just looked bad, way worse than it did the night before. So I think they probably made the right call in canceling it that night. But we were out there at the track and we cleaned the car up a little bit, took some tires to a car wash and got those all cleaned up. Checked everything, squared everything, just made sure everything was good to go for the next day, put the tires I wanted on it, and went back to the hotel for the night and just kind of relaxed for that night. Next day, I didn't even know. I got down to the hotel lobby for breakfast, and my parents let me know that they had seen on Facebook that it had been canceled for that day. They had postponed it to Sunday afternoon, but they said the track still wasn't in good enough shape to have it, so I can't say I blame them for the night that they had on Friday night. I think maybe they just didn't want that to happen again, which I can understand. So the second day of that was postponed for the next 5K to Win show. They're going to run the second day of that before they start the September race. So hopefully I can have stuff kind of figured out where I can capture some of that for you guys. I'm looking forward to it. I wish this weekend had gone a little bit better, but I'm still kind of okay with how things did go. We learned a lot. I think we tried some different stuff. We tried to get more tilt to the left in the car to try and make through that holes. I think that helped us out a little bit. So even though it didn't go exactly how we wanted it to, didn't get the result that we exactly wanted, glad we went, learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to going back in September again. That'll be our third time going this season, and hopefully we can come back with a better result than we did this time. If the track is smooth and the track is right for us, I think there's a good chance we could finish top 5, top 2 on a Saturday night race, lock straight into the 25,000 to race, or 25,000 to win race that I had mentioned before. So that would be the ultimate goal for that makeup race in September and that weekend when they actually run the race that was supposed to be held in September. And other than that, we're going to be finishing up the season at Sweet Springs. We're not running for points there, but we go there as long as there's nothing else that we have going on at a different track. And we race against some good competition there every single week. I would say Sweet Springs is probably one of the most competitive tracks in the country, really. Especially non-wing this year has just been the biggest class by far, and racing with a lot of really great competitors in there. So that's something I look forward to every week. Although this weekend, Sweet Springs actually isn't racing, so I think we'll be making a trip on Friday night to Hastings, Nebraska for just one of their weekly shows. It's a track that we've wanted to go to for a while now. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be this Friday. And other than that, we're just finishing out the season at Sweet Springs, and then hopefully this winter we'll be on our way to the Tulsa Shootout. And I'm kind of looking forward to that too. It's something I've always wanted to race in. And actually, I think that's all I've got for this video. This is the finished product of the paint that I've been working on this whole time. Hopefully I can show you guys a few screenshots at the end of this video. Can't express enough how lucky I am to be in the position that I am, where I get to race on a weekly basis. Have to thank my mom and dad for sure for making all of it possible. They got me into it when I first started. It was all them making it happen. Now they still help out a lot. Have to thank Joe. He's helped us out since the beginning. Dave Byers at DDI Fabrication, Mike Schur at Schur Built Suspensions, Nathan Benson at Nathan Benson Motorsports, Anna for being by my side, helping out, and any of my other supporters out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope to have more on the way. It's a slow start, but I'm slowly getting it. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe. Like I said, I'm new at this. I don't totally know what I'm doing, but if you guys have any suggestions, or maybe there's something you didn't like even, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you have a suggestion for something that you want to see, let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this one.